Good morning, teacher friends. Yesterday was the last day of school. Today we have a retiree celebration breakfast extravaganza at 8 o'clock at the high school with a breakfast before that at 7:30. And it is around like 6:40 right now. And I'm heading to school. I'm driving today solo. My daughter does not have to go anywhere, so I told her if she didn't want to come help me clean, she could just hang out at home and sleep. And she really liked that idea. So she will help me some other time because she wants to make some money this summer. But we have our breakfast thing and then our hoopla thing, and then we go back to our building and we have a potluck lunch to celebrate our building's retirees. And I have made baked beans and they're in the back, nice and hot and ready to put in my crock pot in my classroom that I dug out yesterday out of my closet. I could find it. Yay. So I will talk to you later. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And if you're still in school, I hope you're having a great day and I hope your kids are wonderful. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I thought I might try talking to you while I'm driving. I've never done this before, so we'll see how it goes. And my dashboard is curved, so I'm sorry for the weird angle. There's not really a good place to put my iPad that I'm filming on because it would fall over or you would just get my nose. And I'm not sure you really want to see my nose for 10 minutes or more. So I just got off my gravel, so it shouldn't be quite as bumpy now. I'm probably going to take about 20 minutes to get to school. And I was just thinking about the school year and all of the things that the kiddos learned and some of the things that came up through the year that we had to deal with because, you know, kids have things they're dealing with and they bring them to school and then you have to deal with them in your classroom. And so this particular group, honestly, was kind of difficult behavior-wise. We had a lot of impulsiveness in our classroom and a lot of very immature behaviors. And if you look at the birthdays of your kids, that will explain a lot of their behaviors in your classroom. I went and looked at the years that my children were born and the month that they were born, and many of them were very, very young firsties. Like some of them just turned 6. So yeah, that explains a lot of the issues that we had, and all of them were boys. So super young boys, and not to be, you know, I like girls better, I like boys better, nothing like that. It's just a fact that generally boys mature slower than girls, and so boys tend to be a little more immature even at the same age as a girl in first grade. So when you factor in that they're, you know, some of them 8 months younger than some of the other students in the classroom, makes a huge difference. I think our cutoff for kindergarten, like you have to turn 5, I think, is by June or something. I don't know. It's pretty late. And so we've got some super, super young babies starting school. Super, super young. I'm thankful that my daughter was born in January and I didn't even have to think about whether I was going to send her to school or not. She was totally ready. But she was 5.5 when she started school. And I think that is honestly the perfect age because they've had more time to mature a little bit. And their motor skills are better, you know, as long as their parents have worked with them a little bit at home. But that's another thing. One of my boys in particular has really difficult time with motor skills. So he's a little delayed, and that affects, you know, all of his writing, not just like writing his name, but writing a story, writing a report, writing his letters, writing his numbers for math. It really affected everything. And I even looked into getting him some extra help, but he was already getting services for OTPT, that's like physical therapy and occupational therapy, and he was discontinued because he had made the appropriate gains in his motor skills, which when I read the report kind of floored me because I was not seeing those results in my classroom on his daily work. So it leads me to believe that maybe some of it was just a little bit of lazy sloppiness on his part and he just wanted to get it done, turn it in. Now there were times if it was something super important or if I just could not read it at all that I would say, I'm really, really sorry, friend, but I cannot read this. Can you read this? And he would look at it and go, no. And then I would say, well, honey, when you look at your writing and if you cannot read it, no one else will be able to either. And then why are we writing? We're writing so someone can read it. And he's like, oh. So I would have him redo things which was painstaking because it took him a very long time. So I did not do that with lengthy projects because that would have been horrible torture for all of us. But there were times where he had to stay in just a few minutes before he went out to recess just so he could rewrite some things so it was legible, so I could at least check it and use it for a grade. Well, we don't do grades, but we do passing and not passing. So in order for me to know if he was passing or not passing, I had to know what he wrote. So he had to fix some things. Anyway, so as I was saying, I was reflecting on the year since yesterday was our last day. And there are always things that I go back and say, oh, I wish I would have. And I really don't want to be that kind of teacher because honestly, it does you no good unless you take that information and turn it around and use it to help you next year, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to not have the hashtag teacher regrets. I'm going to use those things that I wish would have gone better and turn them around and making them a positive for next year. So I'm going to come in with a new attitude in the fall, and I'm going to have a new look in my classroom. I'm going to change things around, and I'm kind of switching from owls to pineapples because I love, you've probably seen this everywhere. I mean, if you go do any shopping at all, anywhere, online or in stores, you will see pineapples are everywhere. I have gotten pineapple stuff from Target, from TJ Maxx. They have it at Marshalls. They have it at Home Goods. They have it at Walmart. They have it at Target. They have it on Amazon. I mean, and I got some on Zazzle. So I've gotten lots of pineapple things from all kinds of places. But I love the phrase that I've seen on these little poster things, which is stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside. And I'm also going to add and have a thick skin because that describes a pineapple. And I love that pineapples are a symbol of hospitality because I always want students and parents and visitors to our classroom to always feel welcome in our classroom. I love what the pineapple stands for as far as that phrase. That's going to be my classroom theme. I think it is such a positive thing. It's a great character trait list to aspire to. That is going to be everywhere in my classroom, on my desk, on my walls. Sorry, I'm trying to get in between these two trucks. It's going to be all over my classroom, and I've got little pineapples that I can put all over the place, all kinds of little doodads of pineapples. I found the most awesome smelling pineapple candle that I've ever smelled in my life at Target. It was amazing, and it was about $15, which I don't really spend a lot of money on candles. That's kind of pricey for me. But after I smelled it, and it's a gorgeous gold color with a gold crown, so it's beautiful. I will put that either on my small group shelf behind my table so that students can see it and enjoy it, but it won't get knocked down, hopefully, because it is breakable. I've already broken it once. I had to have my husband glue it. But it smells amazing. My goodness, this truck is really gaining on me. I think I'll get out of its way. You can have the road, sir. I'm not in a huge hurry. It's only 7:04, and I don't have to be at high school until 8, so it's not a big deal. I'm not in a giant hurry. Anyway, the pineapple candle smells amazing. I actually got it out and brought it around and let the mamas and kiddos smell it at the Mother's Day tea that we had a few weeks ago, and they thought it was amazing. And they're like, where did you get that? Is it Bath and Body Works? I said, no, it's actually Target. And they're like, oh, no way. Go get you one because it is amazing. So, anyway, lots of pineapple things. I have organized my pineapple stuff that was all stacked up in my scary closet that is no longer super scary. The shelves, I need to clean the shelves off and go through boxes. I don't think I ever mentioned this, but 4 years ago, the building that we were in was just to the point of it wasn't worth repairing it anymore. The roof was having issues. It was an old building that was built like in the 50s. It had been added on to. So you had like an older section and a newer section. You know how that goes because you expand, because you get more kiddos in the area. But things were just to the point where it wasn't like fiscally responsible. It wasn't cost effective to continue repairing things. And so there was a building, I'd say close to a block behind us. It's all on the same campus. It's all on the same road and everything, all together. It was behind us, and it was built in the 30s. And it was the original only school building for the area. it was K through 12 in that building at one point. And then, of course, they got more students that moved into the area, more students. And so then they made it a junior high, and it was a junior high for a while. And then my first year in the district was the year that they had built a brand new, beautiful middle school building on the other side of the town, which the other 3 schools are all together, and our school is all by itself on the other side of town, 15 minutes away from the other buildings, which is good sometimes and not good other times. So we're the ones that always travel, because it would be silly to have 3 buildings come to our building when one building can move to go to the other 3. So the upper elementary, which is grades 3 through 5, the middle school, which is grades 6 through 8, and then high school 9 through 12, are all on the same campus right next to each other. The upper elementary and the high school are on the same side of the street, and they connect. And then the middle school is across the street. So they built the new middle school building, and the junior high moved over there. So the building was empty, except for the administration, like the upper administration. So what are they called? Superintendents. Really, I can talk. Superintendents and secretaries and things, and custodians still work there. And they kept a lot of storage there, because it was a huge building and a little creepy, to be honest, because it's old. So in the bottom of the building, they have like the locker rooms, and the locker rooms are personally a little creepy because, it's old and it has funk. There's a funk in there from, being there since the 1930s. Lots of showers were taken in those showers. So anyway, to make a short story longer, they had all these different ideas of what we should do for our pre-K through 2 building, which is, yeah, I know where I work. I know what grades are in the building, sure. Okay, anyway, we have pre-K through 2 in our building. So they were trying to decide, what are we going to do? Because our district has lots of land that's still purchased, and I think it's been willed to them by donors and things. There was talk of, do we want to bring that building over to the other campus so all 4 buildings are together? They decided no, because first of all, the traffic is already a nightmare, and adding another building to it, especially lower elementary, where a lot of students are picked up and dropped off by cars, there would be a lot more traffic over there, which would make, mornings and afternoons a nightmare. Also, the spot that they were thinking of building a new building on would require a lot of fill, because we're in a very hilly area, and so that would have been very expensive to buy all of the soil and all of the rock and things to fill that with. So they decided, hey, we have this huge building. Let's look into how much it would cost to remodel it and add on. And so that's what they did. They took this, it's a gorgeous building. And I'll try to take you around and let you see more of it. All you've seen is a little bit of my hallway and my classroom. But I will take you around and let you see more of it. But they really did a great job. They matched the woodwork. They matched the feel of the architecture so that it's pretty seamless. And they tried to make the tiles similar to what was already there. And really, it was really cool. When we first opened the building, we had an open house, and anyone could come see it. And especially we invited alumni that had gone to school there or taught there. And they came in and they were amazed. And they could still recognize, that used to be the science room. I remember having, biology there or whatever. But they were like, wow. It's seamless. Like, the new area looks like it goes with the old area. So it's pretty amazing. So that's my short story longer. Oh my goodness. Behind a giant gravel truck. I need to concentrate on my driving. That would be really bad to have an accident and have to explain, I was vlogging, sorry. That's just as bad as texting, I'm sure. Okay. Now I'm away from the construction. There's a lot of construction going on around where I live. All the road crews are out like all the time. The bridge that goes from my town and to the other side of town has been closed for like 3 months. I don't know if they're ever going to get finished with that thing. So we have to detour to a different route, and it takes a little bit longer to get home that way. I mean, not a ton, like 5 minutes maybe, but it's just an inconvenience at best. It's not a big deal. Now I'm behind a concrete mixer that's turning into the quarry. Okay. Alrighty, now we're moving. Anyway, probably more than you ever wanted to know, so I apologize if I'm rambling. I kind of feel rambly. I don't really feel super tired. I mean, I'm always a little tired because, teachers were just kind of always tired because we're always doing things, but I don't have the mental tiredness, I don't think, that I was having at the end of the year, trying to get everything done and thinking about my kiddos and, know, all the little things you have to finish up, excuse me, before you can get out of your room, which today is checkout day. After we do our thing at the high school, we come back to our building and have our little thing at our building, and then we can start checking out at 1 o'clock. And this year, we have a different principal. Our assistant became our main principal this year, and so things have, like, requirements, there we go, have changed as far as what you have to do before you check out, and the procedure. I mean, you still have to do the same basic things, but it used to be, sorry, I'm on a bridge, so then there's a lot of bumps. Ooh, big old chunk in the road. Alrighty. Anyway, yeah, so the requirements of having to be checked out with a custodian have changed. We used to, seriously, not kidding, like all 30 teachers had to find one of the 2 custodians and have them actually physically come inspect your room and look at the list and make sure you did everything on the list. You know, and it's basic stuff. I mean, stuff to make it easier for them to clean. Like, obviously, put your stuff away. You need to clear your desk because they don't have time to clear all your little doodads. And would you want them to? Because they don't know where to put them. And, like, just clearing off bookshelves because they have to move the bookshelves. I mean, obviously, you don't want to leave all your stuff in your bookshelves because then they have to take everything and just throw it in a box. And they're in a hurry, and they may not be as careful as you would be, and things might get broken or lost or whatever. So, yeah, just basic stuff like that. Take your curtains down and wash them for the summer because they get gross. It's just basic things like that, but you'd have to have somebody, like, actually come look and check off your thing and give you an actual, you've been cleared for checkout. You had to take that tag to the secretaries to be cleared for the summer. So, that's not happening this year. It didn't happen last year either because we had a different custodian. And they actually said, it's a new regime here. Here's your checkout pass. When you're done, it's done. So anyway, so basically there are 2 parts to check out. There is the paperwork part where you have to check out with the secretaries. And then there's the room part, which you do on your own and make sure that everything's put up like it's supposed to be before you actually leave. And I got the paperwork part done. It's in a box. It's been sitting in a box for 2 days. I've got all of my stuff in there ready to go. It's things like grade cards, those pink and blue forms that I did the other night. What else? Our testing folders for reading so they can be passed on to the next teacher that gets these children. Your purchase order, a printout of the purchase order for next year because we do send it online, but they want a hard copy. A hard copy of your inventory of your classroom for insurance purposes, just that kind of stuff. And so that's all done in a box. Happy. Woo. So when we can start the checkout process, I'm getting my hiney in line up in the office and getting it done. And then after that, you can leave. I'm not worried about the physical part of my room because, as you know, I want to clean it and get it all organized. So I'm going to come in during summer school, which starts in 2 weeks. June 5th, I believe. It's after the Florida trip. So I can go on my Florida trip with my daughter, and then we leave next Tuesday for that, and we come back on Sunday. And then the summer school starts that Monday. Which is why I'm not doing summer school, because I didn't think this body would be in any shape to go straight from Florida on the bus for like 14 hours and go straight to summer school the next morning, possibly with only a few hours of sleep. I'm sorry for all the bumps. This road is very bumpy. Okay, I'm going around the back of my building. I got special permission since I was unable to walk forever and ever. And then when I was able to walk, I was on the crutch and I was very slow and painful and blah, blah. So I got permission to park behind the building, which is great because then it's much closer and I don't have to drag all my crap all the way down the stairs. So we are here. I will take you inside my classroom and let you see what's going on there. We'll see in a little bit. Okay, I wanted to show you what my classroom looks like now. I've taken all the little reading bins and the turn-in trays down. My recycle boxes there because I'm going to be recycling lots of stuff. I haven't done much of anything over here. Classroom library still together, but there are the bins I was talking about, getting stuff out of my closet and putting them into. And there's some stuff up here that I need to organize. But here is where all of my reading bins went, my extra notebooks and things. And then over there. And then on this side, I have all of their supply boxes, the bottoms, and then the lids are at the bottom. Sorry, the custodians came in and had a question. So here are the bins that I've been putting things in. There's stuff for next year, and there's some pineapple stuff. And so this is fall, like pumpkins and scarecrows and things, and there's some and Easter stuff. And there's some random stuff over there. And then over here, I'll show you these from Dollar Tree. These are awesome. I love these. These are going to be for my math I don't know what to call them. Math baskets, math tubs. They'll be for games, math games. And I may use these for my turn-in trays next year, just because I want to change things up so much. And there's my stuff, and there's my beans all ready for the potluck. And I need to go. I'll talk to you later. Okay, I am headed to the high school for our breakfast / retiree end of the year celebration. And I was the only teacher in the building just a little bit ago, but the custodians were there, of course, because their job is never done. They were looking for soil. The first custodian said, "Do you have any dirt in here?" And I said, "Do I have dirt? Of course I have dirt." And he said, "No, like potting soil." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't have potting soil. I have like dirt." Like dirt. Like if you need dust bunnies, I got them. What do you need? So I was trying to think of teachers who had done plants recently that they might have some soil left over. And so I think that we found him some soil for whatever purpose. So he's happy. Both of them actually came in to say hi. So that was cool. Our custodians, oh my goodness. I'm sure that custodians just worldwide are wonderful people. Excuse me. But I'm sorry. I think ours are probably the bestest because they're just amazing people. We have 2 lovely gentlemen that do an amazing job through the daytime. And then we have 3 amazing women who do an amazing job in the evenings. They come in around 3 and they do all of our trash pickup and they vacuum our rugs and they sweep our floors and they make sure we have paper towels and soap and are just so willing to help you with anything that you could ever want, which is amazing. So I have to shout out to my custodians, Todd, Tom, Veronica, Chelsea, and I don't know our newest lady's name, but she's very sweet too. So super excited and happy that we have those wonderful people working in our building. And Miss Veronica is, how should I put it, a very avid animal lover of exotic animals. And so she's actually brought her lovely tarantula to my classroom a couple different times, last year and this year, for my students to see her amazing tarantula. Her little tarantula is a girl, and she's very cute and sweet. And I'm not a big spider person, you know that. Like, I don't like nature, I don't like bugs. But I was like, okay, I can do this. We had a unit on spiders. That was one of our first informational reports was about spiders because kids are totally fascinated with spiders. Even the kids that were a little squeamish thought that her spider was cool. She's very calm. Now, we didn't let the kids touch them because they do have little pricklies on their fur or whatever. There's hairs. And so that can irritate your skin. It's not poisonous, but it can irritate, like an allergen kind of thing. And so just to be safe, we just didn't let them touch the spider, even though they really, really wanted to. But just to be safe, you know, always got to be safe first and then have fun after that. So it was really cool to observe her and hear about how she eats, and she eats crickets. And so Miss Veronica gets her live crickets and puts them in the tank with her, and just kind of talked about how you care for a tarantula and the things that they like to do and yada yada. So that was really, really cool. So she has shared her lovely tarantula with us. She also has snakes. We might do something with snakes next year. I'm kind of feeling it. Feeling more sciencey. You know, the big push for the last few years has been STEM and STEAM. You know, science, technology, engineering, math, and then science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So our building has kind of really gotten on the STEM and STEAM bandwagon lately, which is really cool. I love doing science. That was all I did in summer school last year because we rotated our classes. We had 3 first grade classes, and so we were able to rotate. Instead of having one class all day, we had all 3 classes. So one room was reading and writing, one room was math, and then my room was science. And that was amazing. And my kids that were in my summer school last year still talk about it. Still talk about it now, almost a year later. They're like, "Hey, Miss Bond, remember when we did this cool thing with the crayons?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was totally awesome." "Remember when we did the thing with the Skittles?" "Yeah, that was really cool, wasn't it?" They're like, yeah. "Remember when we did this? Remember when we built this thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was really, really cool, wasn't it?" They're like, yeah. And I'm like, I wish we had more time to do more of that now. But in summer school, it's so much more relaxed. And like, since I just only did science, I had like an hour and a half with each group that we could just do science every single day. That was awesome. And so I'll probably pull some of those things that I did last year for summer school and do them with next year's class. I did do some of the activities with this year's class, but in summer school you don't have to teach certain standards and then assess them and blah blah blah. You can just do whatever you want basically. And I did do first grade skills and things like that, but I didn't go, okay, we're going to do this unit and we're going to test on it, you know, because it's supposed to be fun and educational and enriching. So that's what we did. So I'm thinking of doing like Mad Science Fridays. I don't know if you watch Mr. Greg at the Kindergarten Smorgasbord, but he has Mad Science, and he has a whole packet on TpT that's a Mad Scientist packet, and I snagged that baby during the TpT sale, Teacher Appreciation Week sale. For those are really good discounts. You can get 28% off, which, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like it's worth the money anyway, no matter what the price is for most of the stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers, just because it's higher quality than what you would probably get somewhere else, because it's made by teachers and they've used it in their classroom, so it's tested. You know, we always do research-based, so that's research-based. They've already, beta tested it or whatever with students in their classroom, and they know that it works. So that's really awesome. But whenever you get, I always fell into the trap of getting all the cool Scholastic teacher books whenever they come out in like the book orders. I'd be like, oh, there's a whole thing of science, or here's a whole thing of whatever. And the drawback to those is you can't see everything that's in the book, so you can only go by the description, and it sounds really, really super cool and awesome and fun. And then when you get it, you realize, for one, you don't have enough time to do everything. And number two, some of the activities in there are either not age appropriate for your class, or they're not feasible for the time allotted, or you don't have the materials available, or whatever reason you're not able to use a lot of the book. So the good thing about like Mr. Greg's packet in particular is everything is available. Most of it is just stuff you'll have in your classroom that you can get your hands on. You can get from your cafeteria maybe. Our cafeteria ladies, our cooks, are amazing. I did not know until recently that you are allowed to go get staples from the kitchen to use in your classroom. So, for example, whenever we did our Mother's Day sugar scrub, I'm able to get the sugar from the kitchen. That saves me money, because honestly, that's a lot of sugar. A lot of sugar for the mamas. And I just get my own lemon juice. And then I use baby oil, but I could probably get oil from them too. Imagine. I got in the wrong lane because I'm talking. Okay, now I'm okay. So, yeah, so it's really cool. So, find out from your school if you're able to get like supplies from your kitchen, because flour, sugar, oil, whatever, food coloring, vanilla, things that they use to make lunches. I mean, it's available for you. And if they don't have it, they might be able to order it for you, because it's all part of the school funding thing. So that's really, really cool. All right, now I gotta switch lanes again to get over on this side. There's a lot of weird maneuvering because this is a lake area, so everything's built around the water, so everything's curvy. Anyway, almost there. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm scattery while I'm driving. I'm trying to be safe and yet not boring, hopefully. Anyway, so fun stuff. So I'm gonna do Mad Science Fridays, I think. Maybe not every Friday, but a couple times a week. Hello. Because we have more than one Friday a week. No, how about a couple times a month? My goodness. Yeah. And also we partnered with a second grade class this year to do, like, however you wanted to do it, a STEM activity with the second graders. Now, when I was on my knee scooter, which I'm going to be filming that video soon because I keep talking about it. I'm sure you're like, what is she talking about? I don't know anything about this. I'll be talking about that in another video. Anyway, I was on a knee scooter forever, and it's really hard when you have another class of students in your room. So you have like 42 or 45 bodies in your room crammed in there trying to do science activities, and you're trying to get around everybody, but you're on this little contraption, and it didn't work very well, so we just kind of stopped doing it. And then I ended up being gone for an extended length of time because I had surgery, so that'll be in my video too. Stay tuned. But anyway, so we stopped doing it, so I felt bad because some of the second graders that were in that class were actually my first graders from last year, so they were super excited to be back in their old classroom with their old teacher and doing fun stuff. So that was kind of a bummer deal. So next year, I have a plan. I'm thinking if we split our classes, like I'll take half the first graders and half the second graders, and she takes the other half of the first graders and the other half of the second graders, and we just do it in 2 separate rooms, that will alleviate the whole massive body pile that we have with 45 bodies in there, plus more room to work, just less noise. I mean, I think it'd just be more fun. So I think that might work really well. I haven't talked to her about this yet, but she's pretty easygoing. I think she may just go with it, and we can try it. And that's the great thing about teaching younger children. You can change it up. If you go, hey, you know what, guys, this really didn't work, and you go, hey, let's just try it differently, and they're like, okay. They're just like super on top of it, and they're like, yay, let's do that. So that's really cool. I'm at a red light right now waiting to turn left like all the other people trying to get to the high school. So I'm going to end this vlog very soon because I'm going to be getting some pretty weird looks from talking to myself in my car, which I don't really care. I'm kind of at the age, I'm in my 40s, don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's your issue, not mine. Like, I'm good with me. I'm happy with me. So it's not a big deal. I might be able to find, I have a handicap tag because I still have trouble walking. I could have parked up front. I still may do that, except it's really, really hard to get out when you park up there because it's right in front of the building. So I may just not do that. I may just park in the shade. That would be really good too. Let's see where this person's going first. Are they going to take the spot I was eyeing? No, I will take the spot. I think there's one next to that that I can take. Well, let's see. Oh yes, this will be a monstrously amazing spot. If I don't hit the car. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm good. That would be great. Let's have a car accident on video. Yes, indeed. Okay, I am here. So I'm going to go in and have breakfast and do the little amazing hoopla and take you back to my classroom and let you know what's going on. See you later. Bye. This is what my classroom looks like now that I've pulled more things out. Some things, I've got all my little fabric bins pulled out. Packing up my library. Pulled up my mat. Giant mess. Lot to do. I'm ready to head out for the day. May come back tomorrow after my math meeting. May not. I don't know. But that's what things are looking like now. My desk is mostly cleared off except for the stuff I need to take home. The counter has more stuff on it. So I have a lot of work still ahead, but I've done some things too. So I will see you next time, friends. Bye.